Hey, what's going on, people? It is I, everyone's favorite third Dan Lay, Joshua Owl. And if you've clicked on this video, you pretty much know what you're in for. Um, this is the start of a video series that I am doing that is going to be going over Lay and how to counter Lay, this amazing super cop here that we have, and all of his wacky shit. But this video is very simple. Something that everyone probably needs to know before even fighting Lay. Well, yeah, pretty much. Before even fighting Lay, you need to understand all of his stances, what each and every single one of them do, what their properties are, effectively how he gets into them. Don't really mind things like Razor Rush at this point, even though you can get into stances that way. We will cover that in a later video. Today, it's just going to be basic stances. So I guess I'll get started with Snake. Snake is the simplest stance. It's his transition stance. It really has nothing special. He can hit high. You can get hit high. You can get hit mid. You can get hit low. He's able to block mids and highs. So, for example, if we set our Lay friend here to do down forward 1 and the 1 jab, we'll also set him to do a low, such as down 4. I'll transition into Snake. Low. So low hits. Okay, hang on. This is done really poorly. Let me force him to do a mid and a high. So he doesn't auto block in this stance. So you can see he can block there. Like I can block mids and highs from Snake, but I cannot block lows from Snake itself. If I wanted to block a low from Snake, I would need to cancel Snake into a crouching block, or sidestep into a different stance. So the second one we'll look at is Sitting Snake. Sitting Snake is a pretty useless stance for Lay. It evades mids, but it crushes highs. It evades some mids. Unlike literally every other stance, this isn't worth going through in a specific video. He's got two options. He's got a low mix-up, a low mid mix-up between the backswing blow here and the low launcher. Both will lead to a knockdown, at least, if you get hit by it. So it's literally just a guessing game between Sitting Snake 1 and Sitting Snake 4. It's not that much of an issue. Next, we have Dragon. Dragon, again, really nothing special, but it crushes high when moving forward or backwards. So you'll see, that motion there. If Lay were to throw out a jab, I think the jab's that one. If I timed it right. There you go. You can see there. Otherwise, he can block high and mid from Dragon. It does take timing to go under highs with Dragon, but you can do it. So it's good to understand that if he goes into Dragon, and definitely learn to be able to see these stances and recognize these stances as well. This has pretty slow backwards movement, but otherwise, when moving in either direction, he can crush highs. Next is Panther. Panther will always crush highs, as we'll see here. So throwing out the jab. Lay will always crush highs in Panther, unless he does something like Panther 3, where he jumps up. He will auto-block lows, I believe. He can only block low. He parries lows when moving forwards. So there you go. He auto-blocks low. But when moving forwards, he can parry lows. Otherwise, and when it comes to movement forwards from a stance, Lei's fastest movement forward is Panther. So you'll find that Lei will approach more with this forward movement if he's in this particular stance due to it having a better forward movement than something like Snake or even Dragon. So next we move on to Tiger. Tiger will parry high and mid punches and kicks when moving forward. So, for example, let's use, the one jab again as an example. It's just a really good example. That's Crane. So you'll see a lot of Lei players will move back and forth in Tiger sidestep. You'll see them do a lot of shimmy stepping. I'm doing it shitty because it'll cause them to effectively keep parrying highs and mids. So you can't do something like not a grab, but you can't do something like forward 3 because he'll just parry that and he'll get a small punish, probably like a down forward 1 punish. Otherwise, not Dragon. Tiger has the fastest movement. Well, sorry, it's not the fastest movement, but it's faster forward than backwards, but you can cancel the backwards movement into a forwards movement. So you can effectively backdash relatively well. I'm just not that good at it. Last one is the Crane stance. Crane is unable to block at all. So you can if you see him sitting in the stance, you effectively get a free hit. It has the slowest movement out of all of Lei's stances, so he won't exactly proceed on this. He might shimmy step to try and mix you up, but otherwise there's nothing really there. He will auto hop kick lows for a full combo. So he'll only do that when he gets a read on you, so he'll get a full combo out of that. I'm just shit. That's Crane. So the other thing to do with the 5 animal stances, which is Snake, Dragon, Panther, Crane, and Tiger. The other thing to note with these stances is that this little animation here, where he's waving his arms around, actually parries. So it's good to keep in mind if you see Lei do this animation, the stance transition. Although good Leis will do things like 1-1 into Snake, 2-2 into Dragon, Dragon into like grab or something. Because overall it's a better mix-up. So that's the basic 5 animal stances that everyone understands and knows about. It's very simple to most people. You see him in an animal stance, you can do something to him. So like Razor Rush, 4 hits on block, Tiger, etc., etc. But the extra stances, things like Drunk. Drunk can parry punches by holding forwards, I believe. Is it forwards or backwards? I don't remember which way it is. But he's got a punch parry. He's got a high mid punch parry in Drunk. That's basically it in terms of what he has out of Drunken. Like for the stance itself. He's got a high mid punch parry. Next you have Play Dead and all its different variants. So that's Play Dead, Slide, etc., etc. I don't know exactly which one's which. So all of these stances here. He's got zero, really, well, no, not zero. He's got high crushing, so you will never hit him with a high, but he will evade some mids. Not all mids, but he'll crush highs. So that's always something to look out for, is if he drops on the ground, being able to identify which way he's laying. Sorry for the cough there. Just being able to identify which way he's laying down, whether he's face down, feet away, face up, feet away, you know. Is he going to have a low launcher? Is he likely to go for a slide? Etc., etc. This brings us to some of our last three stances. We have the one that everyone knows about, or everyone's seen at least a couple times when playing against Lei, because Lei's love this one, and that's the back turned. Because back turned has zero special, nothing special in it. It can't block. You can't block in back turned. You can just back cancel, which is what is the basis for the ha-ha step. Right, that's it from back turn. Next you have Phoenix Illusion, or back 1+4. So this stance commonly comes out of things like 3, Phoenix Illusion. When he goes into a raw, when he goes raw into Phoenix Illusion, so from neutral, he moves back and to his right slightly. So, you know, that's sidestepping left. It's not a very good sidestep, it's just kind of there. He moves backwards though, so he can do things like that. And that'll whiff punish. So you gotta understand that Phoenix Illusion is not a bad option for Lei. But it will force him to move backwards, so just keep that in mind, which means it's got evasive properties. Otherwise, he can't block in it, so if you do something like, let's say you're playing Jin, you do like forward 4, which is similar to Lei's forward 3. So for example, if I were to just have Lei, that one. Right, let me just have Lei go into Phoenix Illusion. Here. So you can see Lei goes into Phoenix Illusion. So a jab at point blank will whiff, but a jab at this range will whiff. And he can punish it. So you could do a long range mid punish, because he's unable to block. In Phoenix Illusion, he's unable to block. So understanding that is very different. Is very important. And the last stance that I'm going to go over, if you want to count it as a stance, is Commando Roll. So this can evade the lower mids in the game. So things that Play Dead would be unable to. This might evade them. It has a low crush. He's unable to block during this animation. And he will be moving forwards as is demonstrated. This leads to some pretty decent mix-ups for Lei, but this is a very dangerous one for him to go into. Of course, you have things like his basic grounded states, which are, again, evading mid, crushing high. But that you wouldn't really count. In total, he's got like 17 or 18 different stances. It's rather ridiculous how many stances he's got. It just adds to his mix-up potential. So yeah, hope this video has started to open your eyes up. With that in mind, keep learning to be able to recognize these stances. So have pause the videos at this video at times if you wish, and just look at the different stances. So be able to like the one that I see most often, people mistaking Panther for Tiger. And the reason that is because they're they are similar in how they look, but the reason I say at least know the difference between these two, some of them have tried to jab me. No, never mind. The other thing is, so some people have tried to jab me out of Tiger, and I've let them do it because, you know, it puts them in a condition where if I go into Panther and they jab, they whiff and I launch. Right? So be able to understand the differences specifically between like stances that look similar, so similar like Tiger and Panther. Being able to tell the difference between Lei's stances is like it's the first step to being able to counter Lei. If you can't identify the differences, you can't identify what mix-ups he's got access to. You've got to understand that things such as Tiger is such a snake, for example. You know, he's only got so many different options out of it. Unlike Panther, you can go, okay, he can do low, he can do low high, he can do mid, he can do, you know, he can do high. He can do high in a beating kick. So like being able to understand the different stances and what they look like. So being able to see, oh, he's transitioned to Panther off Razor Rush, or oh, he's transitioned into Dragon off Razor Rush, or he's transitioned into Dragon, but he's just sidestepped into Tiger. So being able to say, okay, this is the stance that he's in is extremely important, even if you don't know what the stances do. You can get a very, very rough idea based off what stance he does. At least knowing the stance itself means that you know that, for example, Panther, you can't hit him with a high. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I am your favorite Third Dan Lay, signing out, and I hope to see you when I do the next video, which is countering Snake, specifically. Actually, no, the next one will be countering Razor Rush. Alrighty, bye.